So I've started off as a in the mailroom. I like to refer to it as, which
Yeah,
is the lowest rung you possibly can,
sure.
and ultimately I've been able to climb my way up to at this point in time in the organization I'm at this point in time, a regional vice president. But I'm also a leadership enablement liaison, which is basically code for I listen to what people are saying and help the company solve problems through their people, right? So I've had the pleasure of being able to see it all from having great leaders and bad leaders. And ultimately, these experiences really have developed me to what I have become, along with a lot of the reading that I do, right? So I'm a big believer in spending time in reading and then using that information to help grow your team, grow your people, grow yourself, right? You got to be the CEO of yourself. If you're not focusing on yourself first and foremost, you're missing the boat, right? Because this is all at the end, we're all responsible for ourselves. And
Yeah.
then ultimately, if we do a good job, we also help grow companies. Then that leads to legacies and everything along the way. So in my career here, I was able to climb up ultimately every time. I had an ultimate desire to be a leader.
Yeah.
And Paul, to be quite honest with you, if you'd have told me when I first started here that I'd be an RVP of this major marketing company in the United States, I would have been like, "Are you out of your mind?" Like I wouldn't have thought it. But thank goodness that I've had great leaders and great mentors throughout my career to help me guide me and teach me and prepare me for moments like these where you and I are now having this conversation about how to help other people, how to help other leaders be better leaders.
Yeah.
I think the biggest miss that's happening right now in America is quite honestly is that people spend time on their salespeople or their some of their lower employees, and
Mhm.
they miss the leadership wrong to make sure that they're developing their leaders. Because I strongly stand by this statement: when the leader gets better, everyone benefits.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
If you can help other people become better people leaders, you're probably that's probably going to lead to better profits.
Well, yeah, I mean, even just taking that to, and I've seen this in either companies I've been in or things I've done. Granted, I don't have a formal family with wife and kids, but really just those that do, right? Leading in a lot of ways. Hey, let's take this home to the family or to the community, right? Now, I referenced ownership before. So, how have you seen leadership happen from leaders of leaders and then also leadership of, ownership of individuals? Like, what does ownership of your life and also of people who lead other people look like?
So let's take the personal side first, right? I am responsible for two things in my job. One is know and hit my numbers. Number two is develop myself. And what I mean by develop myself, you have to learn, you have to adapt, and then apply. Right. So you learn in a couple of ways. Usually learn through your eyes and your ears, and also doing. But typically, when we think about learning as a whole, we think about reading or listening. That's how we patient. The second follow that part is to adapt it to yourself, and that's taking it from your head smarts and connecting it into your heart. So it's kind of like an universal connects to here. So it goes from here to here, connects from head to heart, and then ultimately, then you apply it to the marketplace and you live it. Right. That's the key of growth is you have to live what you're learning, and if not, you keep repeating the same thing over and over again. And I'm sure you've had people in your life, Paul, where you've seen people repeat the same mistake multiple times. That's because they haven't learned the lesson yet, right? But the ownership side of it is I'm responsible for me. I need to control my controllables, and then ultimately allow that to help other people, right? So that's the leadership on my personal side. Now on the people side of it, I have to remember what I refer to as elevator leadership, right? And that's where you meet people where they are, and your job as a leader is to carry them where they want to go. It's not necessarily to direct them. There's always a responsibility to the organization, the people that are hiring you, to do what they need you to do, right? So there's that piece of it. But I've worked with great leaders where they pulled nothing out of me, and there's other leaders that pulled a lot out of me because of the way that they led me, right? And it's growth minded first. So what I mean by that is my number one responsibility is to make you better at this job. It's not about you benefiting me, because if I'm making it about me, I'm losing out. As Zig Ziglar used to say, help enough people get what they want, you get what you want,
Hmm.
right? So I want to find out what it is that you want to accomplish and achieve here, then ultimately align myself with you to then grow. And then usually that when I do that, everything elevates with this. And as they say, all boats rise on a high tide. So if I can help everyone around me elevate, guess what happens to my
Yeah.
profits, my revenue, everything else that happens? It goes with me. And it's understanding, keeping that in the back of your mind. Chances are, if you're not having the return on profits or the revenue or your margins where you want, there's something probably wrong with your people, and that's where you need to go look first, is develop your people.